welcome to Internet Marketing Success Part 2. Create a backstory and choose your main character and scenario. Stories are very powerful. If you want to make your products memorable, then you must tell a story in your marketing. In order for you to be successful with your products, you need to have an interesting backstory or a main character. And that's how you sell things today. Now, what is your personal backstory? What is special about you? How can people relate to you because of a personal connection? You cannot seem untouchable because, let's say, you're successful now. You must show that you were once in a similar situation like your potential customers, so you're relatable. So tell lots of stories, share some character flaws, and this will make you real, relatable, and believable. Now, no one wants to hear a story about a perfect person who nobody can relate to. So don't put on a perfect facade. Don't try to be Superman or Superwoman. Don't stay neutral. If you stay neutral, you end up getting no one as a client. The main character of a story is very polarizing. Share your opinions on hard matters and stick to your guns no matter how much heat you will get from negative people. Remember, you don't need the whole world as a client, but you will get those die-hard fans that think the same way like you do. Think about Howard Stern, for example, the radio host. He has the long curly hair, and some people hate him and some people actually love him. So there's people that hate me because of my point of view, but then again, I have people who absolutely love me for the same reasons. So step out of the neutral zone because you're not writing your material for the people who will disagree with you anyway. And there are different possible backstories or characters that you can use. And here are 6 different examples. Let me give you those examples now. So example number 1 has to do with loss and redemption. So let's say you say, oh, I had everything, I was on top of the world, life was great, then X happened, and then I had to figure out a solution to solve this problem. And it was difficult, but it turned out to be a blessing because it forced me to learn ABC, okay? So that's one kind of scenario you can use. Scenario number 2 is us versus them, which means, let's say you polarize your audience. You say, the talkers versus the doers, and you take or you ask people to make a decision and to take a side. So you can be very extreme in your comments or in your message, but that way you will get those die-hard fans, and you will also get a lot of heat, but it doesn't matter. Then backstory number 3, it's the before and after. For example, so you say, oh, first I was so-and-so, now I am this. And it's a story about transformation. For example, weight loss is a good example. First I was fat, then I tried program X, and now I'm skinny. Or first I was lonely and unattractive, then I tried program X, and now all the girls want me. Or first I was dirt poor living in a box under the bridge, and then I've tried product X, and now I have a mansion in Beverly Hills. So stuff like that. Or I was completely broke and had $8 left in my pocket. I had to sleep in my car. Then I did X, and now I'm a millionaire. So you see those kind of stories. Now the scenario number 4 is making an amazing discovery. For example, it goes like this. Wait until you hear this amazing new thing that I just discovered. You're not going to believe this. It worked the very first time I used it. I wasn't sure it would work, but it's amazing. You have to try it too. Okay, that's another kind of scenario. Scenario number 5 is secrets. If you want to learn X and have Y, just like me, then I will teach you my secrets, okay? So, for example, the 10 Secrets of Millionaires, or the movie The Secret, or the book The Secret was a big international sensation. So people love to learn a secret knowledge. And finally, having an epiphany, which is scenario number 6, is you can say, oh, you can use having an epiphany as another strategy. All of a sudden you had this epiphany and you realized something that you hadn't thought of before. And this was the moment when everything turned around for you, and now everything is better. And once the reader is hooked, they're eager to learn about your solution. And the epiphany ties into the solution that you're selling. So, and your solution is usually your core product. So creating a main character for your company or your story can mean the difference between $10,000 a year or making $1 million a year. So don't underestimate that. So pick one of those 6 examples that I just mentioned. Then also creating a soap opera. Now, soap operas are stories that never conclude. The viewer gets sucked into the story and the drama and wants to know what's coming next. And the goal is to create a constant bond between the audience and your main character. And there is never a final conclusion. And every episode ends with unresolved stories and conclusions that will only be revealed in the next or the following episode. So the main goal of creating an exciting campaign is to create a soap opera sequence that keeps the clients on their toes. They're eager and curious about what's going to happen next. So let's say if your first email or your first video is boring, then you are finished, you are done. In that case, they probably won't open the next one anyway. So use headlines in your emails that make people curious or that are out of the ordinary. Remember, the most curious animal in the world is not the cat, it's the human, huh? Now, when you create your own soap opera, you will open up a loop and you will tell them about that you will give them the secret tomorrow. And then in the second email, you will give them the secret, but then also open up another loop that will pull them into email number 3 and so forth. And instead of email, you could use a video. And many professionals have switched to video because it's more effective, more interactive, and relatable. And once you have their attention with an emotional drama, go back and tell the story or the backstory and the events that led to that high drama event. So now, how on earth did you get yourself in such a predicament? Now, it should be easy to read with lots of headlines, and so it's easy to scan, and make it very emotional, and don't try to hide who you are. Soap operas are really about nothing. In the past, a lot of people used 100% content, but the pros switched to about 10% content, about 90% entertainment. Interesting point. Now, you need to be fun and entertaining. In that case, you are allowed to send out emails on a daily basis. And here's some examples of how you can make your emails more entertaining. For example, what's going on in your life, what happened to you that was embarrassing, or how did you get through the holiday season, or where did you go to vacation, or what did you just buy, and so forth. So you have a few examples. And even though entertaining emails are about really nothing, but they still have a purpose. And the goal is to lead them back to what you're selling. Every story needs to relate back to your core products. Okay, now let's create a couple of sales scripts. And let's start with the first one. So a general 8-step sales script would look like this. So first, who are you? Introduce yourself. Second, what have you done? So a short production or introduction. And then third, explain the benefits of the offer. Fourth, how? So walk them through the order process and what they can expect. 5, the catch. Tell them why you are offering this product for such a low price. People always think that there's a catch. So instead of avoiding the topic, let them know clearly that there is no catch. And then 6, urgency. Explain to them why they have to act now. Guarantee, reverse any risk by ordering your product. And 8 is recap, remind them what they're getting and why. So that's like a general overview of a general sales script. Now let me give you like a version of myself that I've created. And I call it the upfront sales script. And it goes like this. I would like to be completely honest with you. Why am I doing this video right now? I am trying to sell you something so that I can make money. But at this point in time, you don't know me, and you cannot judge whether my kind of information will be beneficial to you. So basically, it is impossible for me to ask for any kind of transaction at this point in time because you don't know if you can trust me or if my information is of value to you, right? So therefore, I would like to make you a clear and direct offer. I would like you to have my information completely for free. That's right, for free. I will send you my book, my brochures, my videos at no charge. No catch, no strings attached. And the reason why I do this is to show you how the process of raising money works. And if you understand it and like it, you will most likely want to apply it in real life. But this is where I come in. Now, some of the material and concepts might require you to get more in-depth information or help from someone like me who has done it before. So by giving you my material for free, I am hoping that you should be further interested and that you will come to my seminar or take advantage of my personal consulting services. Does that sound like a fair deal? Well, but I can promise you, once you have mastered the art of raising money for your company, that your life will never ever be the same again. I've raised over $400 million from private investors and over $600 million from institutional investors, and I can teach you how it is done. What kind of difference would it make to your business plans if you had a couple of $1,000,000 to expand your company? Click on this link and find out how I can help you. You see, this is my kind of version. You can be upfront. And why should you be upfront? Why should you mention it like that? And the reason is because of trust. So you first give away stuff for free so people have nothing to lose. It's a very non-threatening offer. And then if your material is of high quality, of course, then you will get clients. And that's the end goal, right? So you don't have to charge anything upfront, but you get a lot more people interested. Now, I want to maybe not go all into every single detail here and just give you an overview because it's more in detail in the brochure. I'm going to give you a sales script and how you can introduce the main backstory and your character in your marketing. And the following concept isn't from me personally. It comes from a man who made $100 million in 23 months by selling supplements. He's the original developer of this sales script that I'm going to present to you. And to summarize it in simple terms, it looks like this. So there's 3 parts. Part 1, you need the star of your story. Part 2, you need the story that agitates a problem. And part 3, you need to provide a solution for your clients, which is your product. So the entire sales script has 35 individual steps and is the basis for creating a great sales letter or a great sales video. Each piece can be a sentence or 2, while others might be longer. And those steps simply provide the right structure for your sales letter or video. And you can write as little or as much as you like for each step. If you follow the structure though, in the end, you'll have a great sales letter. So let's start with part number 1 is your star. You need the star of your story. Step 1, you interrupt the pattern. For example, you say something like, it happened again, didn't it? So you need to grab their attention and you need to get them out of their current activity. Step 2 is you uncover his desires, which means you ask your prospect a series of questions so he can start thinking about the things he wants most. So, for example, I have a quick question for you, or have you ever wanted to work from home and own your business? Just something like that. Step 3, talk about his past failures. If someone is reading your sales letter, chances are that he's interested in solving his problem. If he was completely happy today, he would have not clicked on your link or your ad. So he's probably frustrated today and he's failed to get like a result. So for example, you could say something like, I have one question for you. Why hasn't it happened for you yet? Or when is it finally your turn? Step number 4, your big promise. So introduce your big promise at this point. When you watch this video until the very end, you're going to discover X, which is your big promise. Then step number 5, introduce the star. At this point, you introduce your main character of the story. It could be a reluctant hero or the leader or the adventurer or whatever works for you best in this case. For example, you could say, hey, my name is Meier. A few years ago, I was just like you, and so forth. Now, then the second part of the sales script is the story. And this is all about soap opera. And you can go more into detail about the main character and his experience. And step number 6 is the high drama. When you're telling a story, you ideally want to start at the point of high drama. Don't start like this. When you say, oh, I woke up, I got dressed, I ate breakfast, then I went to work, blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's boring. Better is, I woke up and the gun was in my face. I could see the bullet in the chamber and the finger on the trigger. My heart went 100 miles an hour and sweat started dripping down my face. You see the difference? Okay, so there we have the drama. You're in the middle of the drama and you wonder what's going to happen next. And the same is true for good movies. A good movie is just like a good story and they have a high point. The same concept is true in your sales letters to make them very powerful and dramatic. Example, you could say, I just banged my head on the light fixture when suddenly the phone rang. Or something like, I got a knob in my stomach and I had a hard time breathing. As I hung up the phone, I thought about ways how to explain the situation to my wife and so forth. See. Then step number 7, backstory. So you're hitting a wall now. At this point, you want to fill in the details that led to the point of high drama and how did you get there. And now it's important that you hit a wall and you were stuck in a situation. And you had a huge problem. This is probably also where your prospects are right now. And they have tried to make money, they have to try to lose weight and so forth, but they just can't seem to get the results that they're hoping for. So they're feeling hopeless. And in that case, you can say stuff like, you see, 6 hours earlier, I had started to do, so and so. And so you kind of have to make it relatable. Then step number 8, you identify the problem. Now you've revealed the main problem. Explain why you and your main character was stuck. And this is most likely the same reason why they are stuck right now, so that they can relate to you. And you say, the problem I had was, so and so. Now, the next step is the epiphany. This is the point where you can pinpoint the cause of the problem and soon after discover the right way or why you had the epiphany. And it's the moment when you changed your behavior and your mindset. Example, say, I realized that eating chocolate would not help me to lose weight. Okay, for example. Step number 10, the path to finding the ultimate solution. So describe your journey with all the things that you tried first before it finally worked. You can say, first I tried X and it didn't work at all. Then I tried that, which was a little bit better, but not great. And finally, and so forth. So then step 11, first signs of success. Tell the reader how you started to succeed. Also describe how you felt. You want to encourage the prospect that once, if he's at this point, success is also possible for him as well. And that's when I finally tried, X. And guess what? This time it worked. Okay. Step 12, conspiracy. Now, show them how you finally realized that the cards were stacked against you from the start. So your prospect are probably convinced that the cards are currently stacked against them as well. So because they believed, you need to describe it and you need to use it in your main character. And that's when I realized that it wasn't my fault at all. It was because of X. Okay, no wonder I was struggling for so long. And then step number 13, the big lie. Explain why it's not their fault that they haven't succeeded yet. You can say, for example, for many years they've been telling me X, and finally I figured out that this wasn't true at all. I was finally able to break out of the chains and those false assumptions and finally got the results I deserved. Step number 14, common enemy. And this is how you can blame the big lie that was holding you back and blocking you from your success. For example, and the real problem was X. They were the ones that were telling me or keeping me from this and so forth. Then rapid growth. Next step. Now explain how your character progressed once you knew the truth. For example, once I realized X is when I started to excel really fast. That's when things started to work out. And then case studies, for example, highlight stories of others who had similar success of your main character. And then finally hidden benefits. So talk about benefits that you didn't expect that resulted from the product as well. So I didn't realize it when I started that it does not only X, but it also does Y and it does Z. Okay, so those things you can include. And that was part number 2. Now part number 3 is the solution. And you start with a formal introduction of your product. And you can say, this is why I created product X. And then you go into more pain and cost, explain what you had to go through to create the product, how much effort does it save you? For example, it makes it so much easier now that I have this. Then how much time the product can save you, and then also explain benefits. It burns fat while you sleep, so you can lose weight while you're sleeping, for example. Okay, and then social proof. Those are testimonials, obviously. Don't just take my word for it. See what others have to say. And finally, make the offer, explain what the buyers get, and so forth. And then build value. Add bonuses, add additional features that support the main product. And then start with a fake price. Tell the readers how much the product should be worth if they had to pay for all of this separately. And it's a number that is much higher, usually that in the end that you're going to offer, and explain why the price is justified based on its value. And then finally, emotional close. So for example, if I were to give you the house of your dream, would this be worth it? Or if this was, let you fire your boss, would it be worth it? And so forth. So you get more emotional. And then you reveal the real price. Now tell the reader how much they're actually going to pay. And this price should be much lower than the fake price or the higher price you mentioned earlier. And you can say, well, I'm not going to charge you, $2,000. I'm only going to charge you $300. So obviously that extreme example will motivate him to see $300 in a very different light. And then the guarantee, reverse any kind of risk that he might be feeling or having, take that away. Then also inject scarcity, that's important. You need to give him a legitimate reason to buy now. You must act now, otherwise it's gone. And also help him how his life will get better, give him a future outlook. Call to action, tell him why he needs to make the purchase now. And then obviously you can take it away, you can say, hey, you can give him a warning, explain that he needs to make the decision right now, otherwise, there's a problem. You see, it doesn't matter, for example, in this way. You see, it doesn't matter if you sign up right now or not. We will be reaching our goals with absolute certainty, whether you be part of our team or not. But however, without our help, you will always be working harder and that you really have to. I know this sounds kind of harsh, but I think you can agree that this is going to be true. And then close with a reminder, remember you get, and so you recap the offer and so forth. So this is a framework of your sales letter, of your sales video, and you can use it. And if you use it with the structure I just mentioned, you're going to have a lot of success. So I encourage you to read the brochure again and look at all the details that I kind of went on through quickly right now, but it gives you an idea of how the whole thing is going to work. Now, choosing the right business for you, which I mean making money versus being passionate about. So if your blood is not racing, whatever you're selling, it's not the right business for you. And there's way too many people out there who create businesses to make money. Only a handful of people create businesses to fuel their passion. But there's a major difference here. One person makes things because they want to make money, and the more things they make, the more money they make, obviously. But what they make doesn't really matter to them as much because they will make anything as long as it pays, okay? And then the other person, on the other hand, wants to make money because it allows them to make things because they're passionate about it. They want to improve their product. They want to extend their line. They want to create another movement, invention, or trend. And they love what they make, and that's why they see making money as a way to do even more of what they love. They dream of building a company that creates the best products, and money just happens to be, a way how they can fuel their purpose. So while it is possible to find a meaningless product that can generate millions of dollars, most million-dollar leaders learn that making money with what you love is more important than making money just for the reason or the sake of making money. For example, Walt Disney said, "We don't make movies to make money. We make movies because we love making movies. With the money that we make, we can make even more movies." You see, do you want to create $1 million company? So use timeless principles that never fade. Principles that push for a healthy type of success, one with integrity, honor, and respect. And find something that you are passionate about. And then I want to talk about something very interesting that becomes more and more popular these days, which is called people over profit. Now, focus on helping 1 million people instead of making $1 million. Dale Partridge, he's the author of the book People Over Profit. He was struggling for many years to make his business successful. He was mainly trying to make money, and his focus was fanatically centered on the bottom line. So he was just about the dollars. But then one day his heart changed. He realized that success wasn't fixing him while he was making great money. It had no meaning anymore. He wanted to figure out how to blend purpose and profit. He wanted to flip capitalism upside down. He shifted his motivation from financial success to impact success. At that moment, he launched Sevenly, a company with a mission to give $7 to a worthy cause for each product that he sold. And his sights were set on feeding the hungry, or rescuing girls caught in sex trafficking, or caring for orphans, and most importantly, building a healthy business of love and respect. And in just 3 years, he had almost 50 employees, $6.5 million in revenue, and he'd given over $4 million to charity. Even more, he had built a passionate company, and he cared for his staff, and in return, they worked harder than any group of people that he had ever seen. So his main conclusion was, you'll never become wealthy without helping people. It's that simple. What massive problem can you get lost in? What human needs are begging for you to solve them? This is the entrance to building a $1 million company. Now, you should position yourself as an expert. Now, one of the main principles in marketing is to focus on your ideal customer and to target a very specific group of people. Your products and your company should also be very specific in regards to its focus. You can't advertise to the entire world. It is better to specialize in one area and become known as the specialist in that field. And the following gives you 10 rules to position yourself as an expert. Number 1, be different, not better. So what does the client get from us that he doesn't get anywhere else? So ask yourself this question. Number 2, unusual, not excellent. Good performance is not replacement for being unusual. Only the unusual will be remembered. Only who brings the things in an unusual way will become big. Number 3, be the first. The smaller the niche, the easier it is to be the first. Number 4, invent a new category. So invent the future, repair what is not broken. Number 5, better pointed than large. The larger the offering, the more difficult it is to get attention and the less plausible and trustworthy you are. Pointed enters better into the market. That's a natural law. And number 6, choose a basic need, not a special way of doing something. So who specializes in a basic need represents the interests of the client, and he's independent. Who relies on a way of doing something lives dangerously and is not objective. Number 7, target a small group. Don't build up your business around the clients that you already have, but form your business in a way that you attract the clients that you would like to have. Number 8, solve a problem for others. The bigger the problem, the stronger the wish of the client to find a real specialist. Think about which need you can satisfy when you solve the problem. Number 9, talk about it. You have to attract attention. Positioning does not only mean that you know someone's exact position, but you also communicate it to others specifically and clearly. And number 10, you command the price. Experts can command the price. Who is not different has to participate in the price competition. Now, quality over promotion means that there's no marketing necessary. Obviously, this is a marketing product or program. And I want to give you something very interesting that I saw on TV. There was an interview with Tom Ford. Tom Ford is one of the biggest fashion designers in the world. His suits sell for more than $5,000 a piece. Maybe you've heard of it. But Tom Ford doesn't believe in marketing. He believes in creating a high-quality product that people will love. And marketing, in his opinion, is only for products that otherwise don't sell. And he says focus on creating a high-quality product rather than trying to sell something inferior through marketing. Now, he believes that focusing on marketing will make marketing unnecessary. Marketing is only a supporting action to make the person aware of your products, but the products themselves have to be selling themselves, so to speak, because of their greatness and quality. And if your products are of high quality, then word of mouth will take care of the rest. People need to love your products, and because of that, they will become returning customers. If you look at the major brand names in the world, you will notice that they cost more, but that the quality is also superior. It is better to have a high quality product and develop a reputation for high standards than to sell a cheap product because you want to make money. If you're selling your products on the internet, you must, of course, use marketing strategies because otherwise no one will know that you exist, but your success will be much greater if you focus on quality, and because of that, you're able to charge also more money. Quality is never an accident. Quality is a value that most business leaders will say is important, but they are frightened to death about actually committing to it. Why? Because increasing quality almost comes with increasing prices and cost and decreasing profits. But people worry that they are not able to capture, let's say, tens of millions of price-conscious consumers and so forth. But to be honest, you should be more afraid of making, compromises in quality, and you'll end up selling your company because it's not going to make any profits. So building a $1 million company requires you to become focused on quality at every turn. And as a business leader, you must be ruthlessly critical, but that forces you to improve every aspect of quality of your products at all times. And even Eben Pagan, he's an internet marketer, he says the best marketing is actually a fantastic product. So companies who can master quality, they are going to be ahead of everyone else. Remember, quality in its own reward, but also commands higher standards and has a greater impact, a greater pride, and greater customer loyalty, and greater brand perception, and all of which will help you to build $1 million company. Now, what does it mean to being an online entrepreneur? Obviously, we all know that there's no more security in a paycheck. Online businesses are the future. You don't have to do business with clients that you don't like. You can create a business and a lifestyle that you love, and you can attract the clients that you want. Some people will be great clients and others won't be. And your message doesn't have to be for everyone. You will naturally only attract the kind of clients that are your kind of people. People that will relate to you, who are a perfect fit for your message. And if you're going to put your heart and soul into a business, you might as well create a business that you love. So why are you in business? Why are you there? Do you try to make money? And once you have a certain level of money, once you've achieved certain financial success, you will realize that successful people, they don't care about making more money anymore. They are looking for a higher purpose or a reason to help others. And in the current world, obviously everyone is to some degree in the information business. And instead of looking at the competitors as rivals, they think, how can they cooperate with other people? So, if you recommend a product to other people in your list, for example, you can make more money. So, you see, what does it mean to be an online entrepreneur? It means that you choose a different kind of lifestyle, that things like making money is maybe the initial factor, but eventually your focus changes. Hiring contractors for your business. The reality is that you can't build anything great all by yourself. You will need the help of other people or employees. And one of the top internet guys, he has more than 80 employees, but they're all virtual contractors. Russell Branson has made millions of dollars with Facebook and Google with advertising, okay, but he's never posted an ad himself. He has always hired people who specialize in these kind of things. Frank Kern, for example, he has produced a product about parrots, but he didn't know anything about parrots. So he would find a contractor online who did. So he simply gave the market what they asked for. So don't get discouraged if you don't know all the technical details. You won't have to. You can go to guru.com or upwork.com and you hire people for very low price, let's say, in India or wherever, or in other places in the world, where they can compete for your business and they're paying a fraction of the amount that you would normally pay, let's say here in the US. So you can build a company and have international employees of virtual contractors and build a successful online business. And you can still work from home or with your laptop anywhere in the world, in an exotic location, whatever you like, as long as it has an internet connection. And Tim Ferriss is the author of the 4-Hour Workweek, describes how he enjoys now a great lifestyle utilizing the power of technology and the internet. And Dean Jackson refers to having a lifestyle that is supported by his business so that he doesn't have to become a slave of his own success. And so as you see, in my case, I have desired a designer that I think is a great designer. He's from Argentina, and he does all my work for all my companies. And I've worked with him for many years now, but I actually never met him live in person. So regardless, we have a great working relationship, and we talk on Skype on a regular basis, on a daily basis almost. So you don't need to have physical office and produce high overhead. You can have employees and contractors without the stress of having to babysit them and paying salaries and so forth. You only pay for actual results. Developing a business based on your ideal lifestyle and not on the business needs. Some people develop a successful business and make a lot of money, but they become the slave of the business. What is the purpose of going to work or having a business anyway? The reason is to make money, right? So that you can have a better life. So Dean Jackson, who made millions online teaching real estate agents how to be more effective, said that he rather wants to enjoy a great lifestyle, even though he could make more money. And he came up with a list of different things that really meant a lot more to him than just money. Because the quality of life is dependent on how happy you are. And work, obviously, is a big part of it. And here's the list. First, work your own hours and be able to work from anywhere in the world. Second, you don't have to wear a suit, because obviously he doesn't like to wear suits. Third, your passive income exceeds your current cost of living. Fourth, you work only on projects that you are excited about. Fifth, you deal not with whiny people or people who complain or who are difficult. 6, you get up in the morning whenever you want. 7, you follow your hobbies and passions. 8, you have more time available for the family and the kids. 9, you don't need to take on every opportunity that comes your way. And 10, you're not bound to a local business. So what is your definition of success? When is it enough? How much money do you really need? You don't need $100 million to be happy and enjoy the lifestyle that you want. You can organize your life in such a way that you can enjoy a great lifestyle and still make enough money. With today's technology, it is possible to live anywhere you want, work from home, and the internet has thousands of opportunities for you to make money. Because there's never been a better time to enjoy a great life-work balance that you can enjoy. But you need to decide for yourself what you really want and what is important to you. Now let's talk about some common marketing mistakes. And let's summarize again what is most important. And the reason why people don't succeed right away is because they make certain fundamental mistakes. And here's a list of the most common mistakes that most people do. First, they're trying to reinvent the wheel. Second, they're not capturing an email address first. Third, they're being boring. Fourth, they have low quality products. 5, they are not giving high value away for free first. 6, they're not using mental triggers. 7, they're trying to sell too hard by using too much BS. 8, they're not developing a relationship with the client. 9, not finding the benefit within the benefit for the prospect. And 10, to stop building a list. Well, despite that, times have never been better than today. And your biggest opportunity is today. It has never been easier or cheaper to create millions of dollars online with an online business. But with everything in this world, nothing that is worthwhile is easy to obtain. And that is why I would like to encourage you to learn absolutely everything about internet marketing so you can just do that. It is the new way of making money in today's world, and if you ignore it or if you refuse it, you might end up with the short end of the stick in the long run. The global potential is still untapped, and there are over 3 billion computer and mobile devices connected to the internet today. We are still only at the beginning of a new market development, and now is your chance to take advantage of that. Do you often think you could travel back in time and come up with a product that is already successful today? Well, besides that it's not possible, you simply need to realize that today is another period just like that in time where new opportunities are available and you are at the beginning of a new revolutionizing and historical point in time. So learn and go out there and make it happen. I wish you the best of luck from the bottom of my heart. Well, also, I want to encourage you to study some of the best people in this industry. And this is what I've done, learning from the best of the best. And here I want to give you a quick summary of the lessons and insights from some of the best internet marketers in existence. And Anthony Robbins covered in his interview series The New Money Masters people like John Reese, Eben Pagan, Dean Jackson, Frank Kerr, Jeff Walker, and a few others. And I've put together a short summary for each of those internet marketers so that you have a little bit of super advice, let's put it this way. And here's the expert advice from John Reese. Let's start with him. And he says, every failure is a learning experience and it is an asset. And he was the first person to make $1 million in less than 24 hours on the internet. So I would listen to him. Most entrepreneurs and people starting businesses think that they need to create a product. They have the idea that they need to invent something that no one has ever come up with before. But that is the hardest way to make money, in his opinion. A much faster and simpler way to make money is to open your eyes and observe the phase of discovery. In this phase, you monitor advertising, look at markets, see what others have already taken the risk out of, basically, and notice where other people are advertising and selling products. So find out where the money already is flowing and get in there. Model what works. And the first step to do this is to do some research. So if you go to a search engine, for example, and you type in a keyword and you don't see any ads, then you want to stay away from that market. Contrary to popular belief, it is not a niche market that needs to be discovered. The internet has been around now for long enough that the money-making ideas already tapped into. So if you type a keyword and there are a lot of ads, then that is a good thing. It is the best of things for two reasons. First, it validates that there is a market, and second, that money is already flowing. Now, once you start your business and get going, you will want to leverage and scale your growth of that activity by tapping into all the marketing assets, distribution, traffic of other people in your industry. The very people whom you compete with could become your partners. So think differently. Now, once you find some ads, follow them. Keep your eye on the ads. And once you found out, and you will see which ones are actually making money and which ones have a solid business, and then click on the ads and see what they're for and what web page you land on and so forth. You can figure out someone's entire business just by opening your eyes and using the internet as a competitive research tool. And the beauty of the internet is being able to test on a small level and get results. Then once you have proven that what works, you can ramp up your tactics. So if you give your people great value and content with your marketing message and you don't just try to sell a product, people will have a much better response to you. So give and you shall receive, and that is the key to internet marketing. And people are willing to do 5% more than their competitors. Those are the people who end up making most of the money. So that was John Reese's opinion. Now let's look at Eben Pagan, and he's saying the following things. Is your prospect experiencing pain and urgency? In other words, is there heightened emotional state? And if not, then the prospect isn't motivated and you have to talk them into buying your products. So pain and urgency create the intersection where someone is experiencing internal or external pain and there is an urgency to solve it. And that is where the biggest opportunities lie. So most humans are far from motivated by moving away from pain than they are by moving towards pleasure. So for example, there are a lot more accountants than there are tax strategies, right? Because everybody gets to April 14th and freaks out that they will be arrested if they don't go to H&R Block immediately. So most companies get into business and try to expand their focus so that they can offer the clients everything, but in marketing it's actually much better to narrow your focus. So like Aben did in his dating business, for example, you have to look at the big industry and find out what the customers are missing. When Aben was first starting out, most advice products in the relationship industry were only about how to better the relationship that you are already in, and there was nothing about how to actually get into a relationship. And Aben realized this and honed his focus on the dating advice niche. And he built and promoted his category until his company was the leading expert. And this helps when you're approaching bigger partner companies, for example, because they want to know who you are and they want to be working with the experts. So systemizing your business and building systems that automate busy work free you up to do a higher level task. So when you give away things, you get more. Most of us have like a justice mechanism, and we're not willing to give unless we get something first or in return. So it's ultimately about what you contribute to other people's lives. And it's not about just creating value for other people or helping them to make money. It's truly figuring out what they want to achieve, how they want to help the world, and what they want their lives to mean, and helping them accomplish that. At the end of your life, when you reflect back on the things that bring you fulfillment or consistent joy, it's the contributions you made to other people's lives. When you start to understand that other people and you start helping other people, you become more fulfilled. Now, let's hear from Dean Jackson. The biggest misconception in marketing is that it's all about getting your name out there. But once you've built your name and everybody knows who you are, what comes next? Well, you haven't necessarily earned revenue. So instead of just using personal promotion, use direct response marketing and get the names of customers who are already interested in your products and services. It's expensive to build a brand. It takes time and an enormous amount of money. It is a lot less expensive to get rich than to get famous. So all you have to do is to focus on other people, and fortunately for you, that's their favorite topic. So when people are thinking about your business, they're thinking about what it is it can do for them. You need to set aside your own personal needs and focus outwardly on what other people want. You need to be a leader with your clients. People are looking for someone who knows their needs, can anticipate the next best step, and offer them the easiest way to get there. A lot of times in business, people just give you their information and expect a prospect to make the first move. And that's like having someone over for your house for the first time and telling them to help themselves to anything in the fridge. But most people would never actually get up and go to your kitchen and bake themselves cookies, right? So, however, if you brought a plate of freshly baked cookies to that person and you offered them one, chances are they would take one, right? So you don't want to reject other people. If you give your clients an opportunity and an already paved path, it makes it a lot easier for them to take it. And there are three basic types of markets that have built-in momentum. First, pain and urgency. Someone is experiencing some sort of pain in their life, whether it's physical, in a relationship, in finances, or anywhere, and they have an immediate need to fix it. Second, dimes for dollars. People who are investing a little of their personal time and wealth for something that you are offering with an expectation that the product or information is going to make them a lot more money. Okay, so that is a big thing. I also call this the shovel sellers. And the irrational, passionate audience, an audience of people that are fanatical about something like golf or pets or grandchildren, and they will move mountains to indulge that kind of passion. Now, let's hear it from Frank Kern. And he said, to the business owner right now who's struggling, you're lucky that traditional marketing is failing you because it's going to fail you eventually. And you might as well go ahead and get it over with by start doing it the right way. The riches generated from doing it the right way and the bond that you will have with your customers is so great that once you experience it, you think it's unbelievable. Eventually, you will be in a situation where you don't even have to actively sell. The real way to make money is this. First, find out what people want. Second, give it to them. It's pretty simple. Frank was able to succeed by overcoming his doubts and realizing that anything is possible. And you need to have an underlying belief that you can do anything. And this has been proven repeatedly throughout history. And if you don't believe it, then you're not paying attention. We've gotten people to the moon, so you should be able to make some money from the internet. In Frank's case, he created more ebooks instead of writing them himself. First, he hired writers, and second, he placed ads in magazines that were selling the books. So due to the nature of the internet, a project like that can be done quickly, and you can have the beginning steps done tomorrow. So the internet increases the ease and speed at which you are doing business. And it's enabling you to test traffic, to post ads inexpensively, and to get immediate feedback when you see what people are actually interested in. And we live in the most prosperous time in history of our civilization. The economy is going to get better, and the process of doing business has never been this good. It's effortless. You can send a promotion to people in China right now for $0. So if you don't have the technological ability or skills, you can hire someone else who does. And in Frank's example, he paid an expert $650 to write the manual on parrot training. Okay, he didn't risk looking dumb. He simply posted the job on a website, and people obviously wanted the job. So ease and speed have improved dramatically from the 20th century. You can emulate the presence of a giant corporation without any real difficulty and with limited risk. You can be global by simply putting up a website. You can be a global leader in a particular category by simply paying Google to put you up to the top of the search list of that particular category. And this has never happened until now. And it's fast. And you can send a marketing message to a customer base and stick an ad in front of a group of people and get an immediate response. You can change things and you can create campaigns for new products more rapidly than ever before. People rarely buy at their first interaction unless it's in the heat of the moment. So why spend 100% of your effort on this tiny group? Instead, build a relationship by drip feeding them some good free stuff over time, and eventually they come around and buy. So communicate with your prospect or with your list like you would with a friend. That's his main advice. Notice that email communication no longer looks like a magazine ad these days. For example, Frank sends out his emails and says, hey, this is Frank, I just made a video for you. I think you might like it. I hope you do. Gotta go, blah, blah, blah. See you later, and so forth. So someone from a big business would think that this method is very unprofessional and would never, be able to, work out. But this is why corporate communications will not get read. So you have to communicate the way friends do with each other in order to be effective. Now, and finally, let's talk about Jeff Walker. Jeff Walker was the inventor of the product launch formula. Always be building your list and your relationship with your list. This is critical, and people will still screw this up. For most digital businesses, this is the one true asset that you can truly own. Don't forget the second part. Your relationship with your list is just as important as the size of your list. So, the purpose of the sale is to generate a raving fan. So when you make a sale, Your job has just started. You need to deliver a great product and a great experience, and your raving fans will return to buy from you over and over, which is actually where the real money lies, or where it's made. And they become your evangelists in this uber connected world. Then his next advice is get to $1. I always want to get to my first dollar, that's what he said, of revenue with any new product or business. So I've heard so many stories about people who never got off the ground, and it's because the plan was just too big, or because there was no real plan for revenue. And the danger in any new business is that grows exponentially is that it goes without revenue. So force yourself to figure out how to get at least some revenue flowing as quickly as possible. And then the third piece of advice is it's a lot easier to sell with the human touch instead of the corporate voice, because that's death in his opinion. I've always been happy just being me and not pretending to be some big corporation. I didn't refer to myself as we in my emails, and that's why I set myself apart from the very beginning. And back in the early days, everyone was trying to sound big and important, but I was just writing my emails like I write to my best friend, and it worked. People want to connect with people, not with corporations. That corporate voice will kill you. Fourth, baby steps. I have a video about this here. The first site will suck, that's okay. But your first sales letter will suck too, and that's okay too. So the important thing is that you have a rock solid plan and you keep moving forward. You will eventually get there. Just get started. Be gentle with yourself, forgive yourself for mistakes. Don't expect to be perfect. Just get moving and keep putting one foot in front of the other. And finally, it's all about creating value. In the short run, you can use tricks and tactics to create some level of success. But if you're doing that stuff without real delivering value, you're just spinning your karma wheel, and it doesn't really work out in the long run. So the path to long-term success is by creating massive value for your clients, and your clients are the one that will be measuring that value. Okay, so that concludes the second part of internet marketing success. I hope you've taken lots of notes or go through the study material and start building your online business.